Welcome to the CrossFit Podcast. We created this podcast to help you achieve your goals. I'm Jack Fletney, the founder of CrossFit, and my aim is to give you the best fitness, business and mindset advice so you can go and smash your goals. Okay then, welcome to another CrossFit podcast. We are real lucky today because we have Ed with us, who is a teen competitor and has competed just recently at the British Teen Championships, which is down in Brighton, is that right?
Yeah, down in Brighton.
Amazing. How are you doing? You okay?
I'm good, thanks. You?
We've literally just done a training session, haven't you? So you're fully recovered yet?
Yeah, getting there. It's like shaky still.
Amazing, mate. I suppose the first thing I want to do is get a bit of just to get to know you a little bit more.
Awesome.
But so firstly, how old are you?
I'm 15.
15 years old. And how long have you been doing CrossFit for?
About a year and a couple of months now.
Amazing, mate. So just to give you a bit of a perspective, we've just been doing a session involved probably accumulated around 30 muscle ups.
About that, yeah.
And then did loads of squat cleans, pull ups and burpee over bar, which was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah. Quick.
So I suppose quick fire questions then, so we can properly get to know you.
Okay.
I'll give you a question, mate. You give us the answer.
Okay.
So first one, what is your favourite CrossFit movement?
Muscle ups. First thing I learned.
Okay, awesome. What is your favourite hobby outside of CrossFit?
I love educating myself and like knowing stuff around food nutrition.
Okay, yeah, we were talking about that earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll go on to your future plans. Okay, this is probably the most serious one. Would you rather be able to fly or breathe underwater?
I think breathe underwater.
Why?
It's so cool. Like there's so much that we haven't seen.
That's true. That is true. What is your favourite CrossFit move? Sorry, your least favourite CrossFit move?
Least favourite CrossFit move. Cycling hang squat snatches.
That's so specific.
Did that for the first time the other day. That was horrible.
So okay, hang squat snatcher, but in a wad.
God.
Okay, I like it. All right.
It was horrible.
Well, talking about nutrition, then, what is your dream meal? So if you had any meal right now, what would you have?
Right now, regardless of how it would affect.
Yeah. Anything you want. Yeah.
Spaghetti carbonara.
Okay, I thought you could go way worse than that. Mine's Five Guys all day long, I think.
Spaghetti carbonara.
If you could live in any other place in the world you wanted to live, where would you live?
I reckon Spain.
Spain?
I love Spain. Love speaking Spanish. That's what I learned at school.
Can you speak Spanish, can you?
Moderately.
Okay, so after this then we'll do a Spanish version of the podcast for the Spanish listeners, yeah? I think we've got like one or two, I think. So it's a good question. If I gave you £100,000 right now and you only had 1 hour to spend it, what would you get?
Finish my garage gym, pay for a house, buy a car.
That's pretty good. That's a good thought. And then the final question then, how many wall balls is too many wall balls?
Karen, 150.
150, good work. That's my favourite workout, mate. Awesome. Absolutely love it. Well, I suppose next things I sort of wanted to get just to chat about really is firstly like your sporting background, because I've just seen you work out. I've obviously chatted to you probably a little bit more recently about some of your training things and seeing some of the awesome things you're doing, and your improvement has been unreal. So how quickly you've picked it up. So what has been your sporting background? So what have you done in the past?
So when I was younger, my mum always wanted the main thing for me because we always went down to Cornwall to learn how to swim. So if I ever fell in, it would be fine. So I swam, I think, from around the age of 2. And then swam all the way up until around the age of 10, where I was lucky enough to be offered to go into the swim team, and I didn't take that up, but I was offered the opportunity. And then from then on, my dad was a rugby coach, and both my sides of my family played rugby as well. So I played rugby from, I think, under 6s all the way up until under 14-15s last year, where I went out because I got concussion and dislocated my shoulder.
Oh, just a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
The classic rugby injuries, right?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So how old were you when you dislocated your shoulder and had concussion injuries? Was that all at the same time?
I was 14, yes. I got concussion.
Yeah.
I got a knee to the side of the head in a ruck and ended up somewhere on the sideline.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened.
And what position were you?
I was flanker.
And you've not sort of gone back to rugby since?
Not since. I've played around with touch rugby and possibly going back in, but since finding CrossFit and training CrossFit, I think that's like my main.
Mate, I think I've seen rugby players transition to CrossFit so well. Their power output and just the ability to deal with that hardship and the physicality of CrossFit, I think transitions so well.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen so many people that start doing CrossFit as a hobby to improve their rugby, but then actually end up enjoying it more.
That's how I
get into
started.
it.
Yeah, my mum was like, "Oh, you can build some basic fitness up with this like CrossFit thing that I've been doing that she found when we went away." So she's like, "Just give this a try a couple of times a week." And soon my fitness went up. Everyone was like, "Oh, look at him! He can run around, tackle, and get back up again." And everyone was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I showed them this, and I've just kind of deviated into CrossFit.
Love it. And I suppose training-wise, then, were you doing anything else? So had you ever done a burpee before? Had you ever done any kind of conditioning, weightlifting, anything?
I think with swimming we did like general like press ups, and you just do like sit ups and stuff for basic swimming, so you're good at that. But not until my mum found CrossFit in I think 2012, 11, around like the first time the games was put on. She saw it on TV, and when we went away, and she was like, "I'm going to give that a try." And soon enough she came home and was enjoying herself going to this CrossFit gym. It's like something I'd never heard of. I was like, "Oh, you can do that yourself, I'll carry on with my rugby." And soon enough she brought in like burpees and was showing me videos of all these like really big dudes, and obviously to a little person, like a muscly man, is like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like he's put in hard work, and that's like what I want to look like. And soon enough, yeah, I was learning burpees, but up until my mum started CrossFit, I didn't know what a burpee was or butterfly pull-ups or anything like that.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. So you started getting into CrossFit. Were you doing it like, did you start going in straight away and doing loads? You got to think it's only just over a year ago, right?
Yeah.
Properly.
So the year is just me properly training, so that's training 5-6 times a week. I'd been doing it a bit before that, so I think I did about 5-6 months of like maybe one class a week, maybe two, going to the team one, and I would just be like absolutely destroyed after every time I went.
Do you remember your first workout?
I think it was a Wednesday night class, and I said to Mum, "Look, I really want to try this CrossFit thing. Will Greg let me come along and like try one?"
And that's because you train over at Unit 22, right?
Yeah, I train at Unit 22, Greg and Bonnie.
Awesome.
And yeah, he said he can have it a go, but he's not allowed to lift like super heavy weights. He has to go under the like female RX kind of stuff. So I was like, "Oh, that's fine. I just want to have a go." And I don't know, it was horrible. I think it was thrusters or something like Fran was my first workout.
Love it.
That was the first like memorable workout. Oh, I think the first time I did Fran, I did it in like
most people remember the first
5-6 minutes. It's like, oh
yeah, it's Fran. I think if you haven't done Fran before and you're a CrossFit, you need to go in there and go and do it straight away. It's one of those workouts so historic and a lot of nostalgia with it. So you obviously then started to properly get into CrossFit, pick up some of the movements, learn the movements, and you obviously had a good base of fitness already. What did you find addictive about CrossFit? Was it the fact that you were able to start learning more? Was it the fact that it was really challenging?
This is the thing where people say, "Oh, you're a bit strange." I really love the feeling of like when you get into a workout and like in that one where it starts to get hard and you're like, "I have to push through this to carry on," and just the feeling of it being difficult and then pushing through it.
We've spoke about this before actually, because the 10 components of fitness don't include anything with the mindset. And I think if you listen to a past podcast with Ben, I think we talked about that a little bit, and he's obviously specialised in mindset, how important it is. And we were just talking about in your session then about being able to really, really dig in and deal with the pain and keep moving.
I can deal with it for a long time, but if you like accumulate, say in that workout, 4 minutes of just going hard, that's not what I would choose to do. I'd choose to do something like, say, 40 minutes and upwards. Yeah. And I could just keep going at the same pace.
Yeah. And you obviously you just said a minute ago, 5-6 sessions a week.
Yeah.
You're obviously now training that, which is a lot of volume as well. Did you start doing that with a goal in mind, or did you start doing that because you just enjoyed it?
Originally, it was to get better at rugby.
Yeah.
Because my whole team, we're all getting to that age where we'd moved up to a bigger pitch, and it's all like that teenage boy phase where you start to get a bit chubby, or some people go the other way, they shoot and can be really skinny. So I was like, I want to be the one that can run around this pitch and show everyone what we need to, like, what fitness it is. Like I want to be able to tackle ruck and then get back out into my position and be ready to go again. And originally it was just for that, it was for rugby and just general fitness, looking good and stuff like that. But then it changed into me wanting to do CrossFit because I enjoy the state of CrossFit and want to compete.
And what was the point where you're like, I'm going to try and do a competition now? Was there any moment?
I think it was either Mum showed me or it was advertised on my Instagram feed, the British Teen Championships, which we'll talk about in a bit. I saw that, I think 6-7 months before it was the competition was around. So this was, bear in mind, like 4 months into my proper training, say training 5 times a week, and I see this competition. I'm like, Mum's like, that's a good thing to look up to. You should go and try that. So I registered myself and was like, now I've got to commit. I'm going to do well in this competition. And that was what I've looked up to. I competed and loved it. So it's now just looking for my next one.
Mate, I love that. That's well, you know, we spoke a little bit before the competition, didn't we, in the lead up to it?
Yeah, we did.
So how have you been modelling your training then? So you said you train 5 days a week. Is there anything you do in particular, or is it very much like, you know, when I used to train, probably when especially the first maybe 2 or 3 years of doing CrossFit, I would just go in the gym and just do what I felt like I needed to do. What are you doing at the minute?
I usually follow Greg's programming.
Yeah.
So I'll do train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, complete rest day on Thursday, do nothing. Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday just do light stuff, aiming not to flush out everything from the week.
Okay.
So I'll follow Greg's programming. So we'll usually like squat or deadlift on the Monday, then we'll do clean or snatch on the Tuesday. Wednesday is either like a partner WOD or like interval kind of stuff. So EMOMs and AMRAPs, that kind of stuff. And then Thursday, obviously rest, roll, stretch, do what I need to do to get better, go for a walk. And then Friday's comp train. So it's like what we did today, a simulation of short, fast workouts with like high skill movements. So it's like we did, I think it was the Battle for the Midlands workout, which involved heavy dumbbell snatch, handstand walks, and muscle ups and stuff like that. And it's just who can all the people come together. It's like compete to do the best in the workout. And then Friday we've done. Saturday is team WOD. So we'll lift in the morning, do an hour of lifting. So it'll usually be whatever I didn't do on a Tuesday. So say I snatch on the Tuesday, I'll then clean and jerk on the Saturday. And then after that we'll do a team workout. So it's usually between teams of 2 and 4, and it'll be like a nice 40-minute workout split into like 4 parts, and we'll go back to back on that.
Love it, mate. So you're basically not messing around, doing a lot of training.
Yeah, not being stupid about the training.
Yeah,
but still doing like what I need to do to get better.
Right, awesome. So obviously you've been sort of prepping for this competition, which was the British Teen Championships.
Yes.
Since I think it was the 2nd or 3rd year they've run it, isn't it now? So.
Yes, it's the first year they've done the Masters after, but I think it's the 3rd or 4th. Yeah.
Awesome. So this competition, how did you feel in the preparation for it? Because this was your first comp, and obviously it's going straight into, for yourself, a very high level competition. You know, you're competing against other teams around Britain that are trying to, are probably training just as much as you, maybe doing CrossFit longer than you have been. How were you in the preparation? Where was your head at? How was your training?
So originally I signed up to it and straight away was bricking it. I was like, I'm not going to be able to, because at this point I've just started. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get to the point where I can compete at like a high standard. And slowly over time I started to dial in my techniques for lifting, and my numbers were slowly increasing, and I was starting to catch up with the like older, fitter men in the at Unit 22. And I was like, hold on, I'm getting better here. And then leading up, I hit a couple of PRs. I hit like an 85 kilo clean and jerk and my 70 kilo snatch and all of that. And I was kind of like, maybe I do have a chance of doing well in this competition. But mindset, I talked to you before it, and I can't say I was the best in my head. I was probably really nervous, but I tried to brush it out the way so no one thought I was nervous. And then, yeah. When I talked with you before, it kind of set everything. I was like, I know I'm going to go in and do my best, and then doing my best, I then came out with a good outcome.
Mate, so true. We spoke about it, and the biggest thing, and I had this as well, my first competition, it was that comparison. I was comparing to everyone else and thinking I wasn't good enough. And it's the worst thing you can do, you know, and it goes for anything. You can't sit there and compare to anything or anyone, because you're all on your own paths, and sometimes what you see isn't also true. And that goes with competition, especially against some of the competitors. You sit there and worry about what they're doing. Yeah,
I'd sit there and look at their Instagram, and it's like, he's like snatching triple figures. It's like, I'm never going to be able to do better than him. But then it gets to the workouts, and he's like, oh, I'm running like a minute faster than he is.
Yeah. There's always, mate. That's why you could never ever compare to people. And I suppose I think the other thing we talked about was also worrying about what other people think.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to chat to you about that and just try and get you in the headspace where you can't worry about what other people think, because you'll never progress anywhere if you're constantly thinking about other people's opinions. And I think it's also good. You were worried about not performing well, and your members and things thinking you weren't doing well enough.
Yeah.
But I said to you before, they'll all be so supportive of you, and they just want to see you do well. And I think it's all about changing perception of what is doing well. And for you, it's all about going out there and putting your maximum effort in. And if you do that, being happy and content with where you're at, and knowing that there's things to work on and keep getting better. But
exactly.
This obviously we sat down and chatted about that. Fast forward to competition. It was a 1 day or 2 day competition.
It was a 1 day competition.
1 day
so
competition.
It was 4 events. The 4th event was split into 2 parts.
Yep.
This first event was at 8:15, and the last one was around 3:30 in the afternoon.
Pretty long day then of competing.
So,
5 events or 5 workouts is a lot. So going into it then, you did start to get fed what the workouts were, didn't you?
Yeah, 24 hours before I knew the first 3 workouts, and I saw them. It was like, hold on, I quite like these. They're fast but grueling, and it's like I can do well in these. And yeah, I think the first one started off with a beach run in Brighton, so it's 400 meters across the horrible pebbles that are there. It just felt like your feet were sinking. And then it went on to 3 rounds of 5 sandbag cleans and a 20-meter carry, and then to finish another 400-meter run. And then it turned out I was one of 3 to actually finish the workout. So that kind of put me in a good mindset going into the next one. Like, hold on, I'm sitting in 3rd here. I could do something well.
So 3rd place in the first one. Shame there wasn't any swimming in it.
I know, there's no swimming this year at all.
Yeah, moved into the second workout. Was the second one?
It was a max rep hang snatch.
Yeah.
But you only had 4 minutes to do it. Yeah. So it was very quick. Know what you want to cut on the bar.
We spoke about that before, didn't we? Because we said that there's probably going to be a situation where, with competitions, it's nature beast. You're not going to get a long time to lift like you might do in a class. So
yeah.
With those 4 minutes, we said about mindset going into it, making sure you're really warm. Walking straight into the event and being able to know exactly what lift you're going to do and know the game plan if it goes well or if you miss it.
Yeah.
I said to you before, with adrenaline, you find the weight actually often feels lighter.
Oh yeah. I went back and tried to snatch 65 afterwards. I was like, this feels heavy. This feels heavier when I hang snatch it in the event. It's like,
so 65 kilos. That's incredible, mate. 15 years old. That's such a big weight. That's unreal.
Yeah, 65. It went up in the last, I think, 18 seconds.
Yeah.
I kind of hit 60. I was like, hold on, I can put another some weight on here. I just threw the 2.5s on each side, looked up, picked it up, and just jumped under it. It was like, I got it. I caught it. It had a little shake in my right shoulder, but then stood it up and got my feet in, and he gave me the rep 3 seconds to spare.
Perfect.
I know.
What 3?
WOD 3. It was a 9-minute AMRAP with one of the movements changing every 3 rounds. So it started with 9 burpees over bar, then 9 pull-ups, then 9 power cleans at 35 kilos, so it's relatively lightweight. But after you do your 3 rounds of pull-ups, the pull-ups then change into chest to bar, and then after doing 3 rounds of chest to bar, they change into bar muscle-ups. So depending on how far you progress, separates the skill groups. So I think I got 5 rounds and 4 reps into that, which put me in 2nd place.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Where did your lift put you? Your snatch,
My lift joint 2nd.
So good. So you went into the final then in 2nd place.
In 2nd place.
Yeah.
And I was. It was an awesome heat, the final, because it was the top 4 people all sat facing each other in a square, and that was awesome. You kind of just had a square of seeing. I know where he's going. I know how he's doing.
Yeah. And what was the final workout?
Final workout. It was pretty horrible. It was 21:15:9 of dumbbell thrusters, 15 kilo dumbbells, and then deadlifts at 50 kilos. So you had a 5-minute time cap for that to complete that. So I completed that around 2:30. Then you could rest for the rest of your 5 minutes. You then had a minute to add 5 kilos to each side of your barbell to increase the weight up to 60. Then you then completed 12.96 of dumbbell shoulder to overhead with 15 kilo dumbbells again, and deadlifts with the 60 kilo bar. And then to determine your score was how many dumbbell shoulders to overhead you can complete after doing the workout. So I think my score in that workout was 96. So yeah, in the first workout, the guy who was sat in third behind me, he finished like 2 minutes after me. So I was like, hold on, I've just kind of developed my lead here. I don't know whether he blew out or he didn't like the movements, but I like kind of generated this lead, and then going into the last one I was like, I need to go hard on this one. And by the end of it, my arms, doing so many dumbbell shoulders overheads. It was horrible. Like the last one, just get.
And when you finished the workout, was it like a sense of relief, or?
I think it was a sense of being proud of myself. I did it, and I did well.
And you put your max effort in, right?
Yeah, I tried 100% towards this workout, and both my family, my mum and my sister who were there with me, both were happy. They both saw that I tried my best, and they were proud of me as well.
So all those results put you, and you actually finished in second place, didn't you?
Yeah, but sadly on the day I got awarded third due to a counting error.
Wrong,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. These things happen sometimes.
Yeah, it's
but look,
fine.
You were the best thing about it was you were still really happy with the third, and then you got contacted a few days later, didn't you?
Yeah, and they told me I got second. It's like, even better.
Yeah, but you're still waiting for the call for the first now, right?
Yeah. Hold on.
Hopefully. Well,
yeah.
I think it's fantastic. First competition to go and do something like that with some really, really high level competitors. These teams that have been training for a long time, and we see it now. Like I think maybe rewind 8 years, there was no teenagers doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
And now what we're seeing is the product of teenagers that are starting young like yourself now coming through. And I think I've said it before on one of the podcasts, I think the key really is now making sure that people like yourself and your age that are training out at this high intensity learn to move really well, develop all the foundational strength, and learn the right techniques to keep developing.
Over just throwing weight on the
which
bar,
is the key, because I think, and we're starting to see anyway, which is some teenagers starting to get injured and having some issues because they are so content on the competition side of things and not actually the development of skill and strength.
The original main teen competitors, some of them have just walked away with like injuries that have put them out of CrossFit forever, because they've been jumping under like stupidly heavy barbells without knowing proper technique, and they just can't do it anymore. Like their knees are gone and shoulders.
Yeah, which is a real shame. But I think the sport's now going for a point where it's now starting to learn exactly like where it fits, how you've got to train for it at different age groups. Because in essence, CrossFit is a very, very new sport compared to others.
Yeah.
That we would probably say around 12 years it's been going on for now. So we actually haven't had the opportunity to view some proper facts and say this is what happens over this amount of time and doing this kind of training.
And that's right.
But you're doing absolutely amazing. I suppose the final question for me is, what's your next plan? So where are you going for in the future? You said earlier that you want to do some more comps.
Yeah, I'd love to try some new comps. There's a competition that Unit 22 that Greg said I can qualify for. Is pound for pound.
Yeah.
I know you had a couple of competitors in it 2 weekends ago, I think it was. And he said I think that's like one competition I can kind of go against adults is with my like lesser amounts of strength, is because it's all based off your body weight, and for my body weight I can lift, like I can clean and jerk more than my body weight and snatch more than my body weight, so it kind of puts me at a better contention of doing well, rather than if I just went into like a normal, say, I don't know, strength and depth or something, because I'm going to have like 70 kilo thrusters, and that's like 15 kilos off my max clean and jerk. But to some men, that's like one arm kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you look at Zach George, just 70 kilo thrusters, just normal.
No, you're right. I think that would be one of the hardest things for you now, is finding the right competitions to go and compete at, where you're not going to be up against some of the RX males because of the weights and the movements are going to be maybe too much.
Yeah.
But just taking the time, find the right ones to enter and keep developing. So you said to me earlier, you said in some of the facts about hobbies that you enjoy learning about, like diet and nutrition at the minute.
Yeah.
And you said one of your plans is to try hopefully go to university to go and study that, right?
Yeah, go and study dietetics, and then that will enable me to medically treat people with like diabetes and obesity and like coronary heart disease and stuff like that.
That's
and
amazing.
You can then provide a meal plan to them which you can confidently say this will bring down your weight, but also improve your health at the same time. So remove visceral fat and stuff like that.
Mate, awesome. Well, hopefully we'll jump you back onto the podcast maybe in a year or two. You can tell us about more of the plans.
Yeah.
But mate, awesome work, the competition. My
Thank
biggest
you.
thing, and we spent a lot of time talking about it with athletes about mindset, and it was really nice to speak to you afterwards and say about how much you enjoyed it. And I think that's the key for anyone jumping into competitions, you know, and trying to get to that next level or improve loads. The number one aim should always be enjoyment. The other things that will come with it once you really do learn to enjoy and embrace everything that happens in the competition.
Yeah.
But mate, fantastic. I'm really excited to see you continue to progress and improve.
Yeah, thank you.
It's crazy to think you've only been doing it 1 year and you're knocking out muscle ups for fun. You're doing squat cleans heavy.
Yeah.
It's actually quite scary. But yeah, I can't wait to see you continue to get on and keep getting better. Thanks for jumping on the podcast, mate. And
yeah, thank you
I'm
for
sure
having
we'll
me.
get you on a future one to talk about more competitions and how your training's going as well, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cheers, bro.
See ya.